Singapore's mental health efforts are gaining ground, but experts say the next leap is building emotional resilience within communities. Now, that strength is built close to home, bridging the gap between national policy and everyday care, and sharpening emotional readiness in a crisis. Nikhil Khattar with more.
Over 20 years have passed since the Boxing Day tsunami changed tens of thousands of lives forever. Francis was just 4 when waves tore through his resort in Krabi, sweeping him and his pregnant mother away. They clung to a rock and survived. For years, he feared the water. Then, he faced it, learning to swim to fight back. In 2017, that same boy represented Singapore at the SEA Games. But at times, the traumatic memories still crash back.
It was quite an arduous journey actually, because initially I still remember when I was swimming, sometimes there would be sort of like panic attacks where I would actually feel like I'm suddenly gasping for air as I recall what happened. At the same time, sometimes I'll just be thinking about what happened on the day itself, and then my heart rate will go a bit faster.
A similar anxiety gripped Singapore's migrant workers during the COVID-19 pandemic. A reminder of how unprepared the world was for a crisis of such scale. Tens of thousands were confined to their rooms, isolated and uncertain. Lockdown slowed the spread, but unleashed a wave of mental health struggles.
So there were moments where they lost their parents. Some of them were, about to get married that year, but they couldn't go on time for that. So some marriages were broken during COVID. So this led to a lot of depressive thoughts. We handled many cases from simple stress to major depressive disorders as well during this time. Not to mention that there were a lot of self-harm thoughts, suicidal ideations that were appearing as well.
These shocks show how quickly both individual and national mental health can be shaken. Singapore has made mental health a national priority. The National Mental Health Office, launched in 2023, aims to expand services, improve early detection, and promote resilience across society. But despite wider access and awareness, a shortage of trained professionals remain a critical gap.
I think the policies have created pathways for people to gain access to knowledge, to services. But, in terms of implementation and having the people there to provide these services and to provide competent care, I think that's where, we still have some ways to go in terms of building that.
Preparing for the next psychological aftershock isn't only about systems. It's about building emotional resilience.
Teaching youth how to recognize distress, listen without judgment, and offer support will not only nurture early awareness and resilience, but also normalize help seeking from at a young age, right? And this prepares the next generation, not just academically, but emotionally for life's inevitable challenges.
Experts add that emotional safety is just as vital, because the next crisis may test not only systems, but the nation's collective resilience too. For Francis, resilience began with facing the tide. For a nation, it starts close to home, one skill and one conversation at a time.